Clang, clang, clang with the trolley. Clang, clang, clang. With my water bottle. Good morning. Hello. Howdy doody, everybody. Happy Sunday. I'm quite, I don't know what to call it. I'm here and I'm prepared, sort of. I had a dinner party last night, which I hosted, and it was good, but I went to bed pretty late and I woke up with a headache. So I did only about 300 words, 350 words in a couple quick sessions amid making the thumbnail, making the stream, all this stuff just in time. So I've got graphics and I've got some books, and we're going to talk about 3 different tags today. So I have not done banners. So I'll do those as we go. Let's see, we're not doing a wrap up, we're doing tags, and it's another triple tag. So at least that one works. If you haven't been here before, hi, my name's Margaret, and I talk about books. I read a lot, I read eclectically, and I write historical fiction and fantasy. And this is my chaotic background. And I've got a cup of herbal tea this morning. I already had a cup of black tea. And I figured something a little bit more gentle, planty would be in line with what I need. So, how are y'all doing? Because a lot of the answers for today's 3 tags are digital assets or audiobooks, I have covers. And what's funny is I was looking them up very quickly in the last 10 minutes in my downloads folder, just searching and rescuing. And some of them are not there, or some of them are overlays. So that's what we got. And a few of them I just didn't bother downloading again. So that's how we're coming to you live and in person this morning. Hi, Eva. Hello. You know, that sounds like a noise that Bean makes. And let's see if I can make it and get a reaction. I can't see him at the moment, but hello. No, he's eating. Okay, but that's the sound he sometimes makes. It kind of annoys me. Hi, Anita. Good morning. Yeah, tuckered. It's not so much tired as it is like there's this, vice, and I'm just trying to sort of see around it to come to you all like a normal person. So it's like operating with a headache or a bright light in your eyes. That's what it feels like. Kat is here. How was the potluck? It was great. So I actually went with a soup from a site called Slavic Vegan because it had ingredients that I had at home, including ones I needed to use up: rutabaga, celery root, and black beans. And I was like, and I got a can of tomatoes. So it was perfect. I couldn't have asked for a better fit, and it was tasty too. So I was very happy with that. Hi, Gareth. Book, songs, and other magic. Hello. We've got some names tagged in the description. So if that's why you're here, hold on. We'll get to you shortly in the order in which you got in line, or queued up, as it were. So we're saying hello, 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 and he'll be along shortly. Maybe if you're talking about Bean. Okay, so and it put it back on black. So the style sheet is still doing its own thing. That's fine. That's fine. Oh, and the other thing I did was cook calzones. But anyway, I can get rid of that window because I don't need it anymore. So which tags are we doing today? We've got, where's my notes app? There we go. We've got 3, and I will do them in chronological order, I suppose. So the first one is Rock On Celtic Songs book tag. This was made by Nicole's Bookish Nook for the Celtophile Readathon, of which I am a co-host. So I figured I should probably do the tag soon so that other people know that the readathon's happening, because I think that's the main point. And this is taking 9 different songs that are Celtic in some fashion and making a prompt that is about books based on them. So I was gonna sing some of these, but given the state of the nation this morning, I may opt out of that. So we're gonna do rock on Celtic songs. And in case you're here and you hear your name called, please come to the front of the class. That would be Gareth, Albert the Conjugator, and Brie Bonomo. Those are the folks I'm tagging for this because some of the prompts I thought Brie would like. And Albert says music in his bio, and Gareth, of course, has music in his title too. So we'll do that first, and then I will pass on to 6-course dinner book tag, and then the Bronte Novel book tag. So first up, we've got, and I did not put the, did I put the question? I did put the questions in the description. So if you like any of these, you're also free to take it and run with it. Rock on Celtic songs, prompt number 1. Drunken Lullabies by Flogging Molly. What is a book involving a celebration that you enjoyed? Now, I'm not a huge fan of Flogging Molly. I think it's too fast and frenetic and like gives me a headache even when I don't have one. But a lot of people who like Celtic stuff like the band, so that's fine. So we're gonna start off with a celebration that I loved reading about. This is, let's see if I can make it bigger. Nope. There we go. This is a book by our friend Emma Bennett called A Scottish Christmas. And this is a delightful rom-com where someone is diving into a new job, and it turns into a bit more than she expected. And it's set in, like, I imagine it to be like Perthshire, or, sort of outside Edinburgh, on this sort of country estate that is a modern farm. And it's lovely, and it's fun and funny and sweet, and yeah, like a really nice Christmas, cozy romance to read. So that's my first one. The next prompt is, oops, that's not what I wanted. Boop, in my way. Notes. All right. The Parting Glass by Ed Sheeran, which is not the version I would have gone with. There's The Wailing Jennies. The Wailing Jennies have a really beautiful version. A book that left you feeling bittersweet because it ended. And for that one, see, I put these in a folder in a specific order, and my stupid folder said, F you, we're going to put them in whatever order we want. So now I'm going to have to just like jump around. So sorry, everybody. Bittersweet because it ended. So I really liked this world in Wooing the Witch Queen, the Queens of Villainy series, #1 by Stephanie Burgess. And the tagline is "Love can be a witch." I just thought this was really cute. There were cozy side characters. There was a high level of inclusion of different viewpoints and accommodations and awareness. There was shy, sort of bookish hero, and there was like badass, powerful witch queen. And I didn't want to leave that world. Why would I? Why would I? So I loved this, and this is my first Stephanie Burgess, so I'm excited to read more. And if you've got questions about any of these books, let me know. I think, yeah, these are all books I've read that I'm using, so they aren't. I have opinions on all of them, I will say. Let's see. Gara says, "Oh, I'm here because I always try to catch your streams." Well, that's very kind, Gara. Thank you. Happy Sunday evening to you, my friend. Jim is here. Jim's Books, Reading, and Stuff. Hello, hello. He's in the tag storm, but because he tagged me, Gareth's encouraging me to sing. Yeah, but I woke up 3 hours ago and have had a headache for all that time. So, danger risk territory. Love your references to folk music. Clearly, you know your stuff. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't have a breadth of knowledge, but I do have Pandora. So, like, there's some exposure there. That's all I'll say. Notes app again. Rebel Yell by Billy Idol, a book you read because someone told you not to read it. And for this one, friends and global countrymen, who has ever bothered to tell me not to read something? I mean, lost cause, barking at the wrong tree, eclectic reader here. Like, you know, the blood and gore, the celebrity false, not false, what was it? Alternative facts. Like that stuff I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole, but no one told me not to read it. That's just common sense, I fear. So, question number 4, Starman by David Bowie, a sci-fi book about aliens. So if I had to pick a sci-fi book about aliens, the first one that occurred to me was, I'm just getting these on the screen so that people have exposure to the covers. And oh, I do. Nope, it's small. Okay, so this is a novella, and it's definitely sci-fi. It's Countess. Wait, am I sharing it? Maybe not. Let me check. I am not. Stumbo. Countess by Susan Palumbo. So she is a Caribbean lit author, and this is her first outing, I think. And she's great on social media. So this is basically decolonization in space, and someone who works in the system and tries to do her best, but on a technicality, someone takes the opportunity, who's a bully, to send her to an outer colony. I don't want to spoil it. So she has this terrible experience in the outer colony and comes back from it, and like this is her revenge story. And it's a novella. It has a questionable ending for me, but was a really fun time to read. So, sci-fi, aliens, very snappy. And even though it's a world that is science fiction, there is also like callbacks to um, Caribbean food. So, we like that a lot. Because why not? Why not? Let's see. Oh, Emma, you missed your name drop. Your book was first. You're the first prompt. Let's see. And Gara says, I started my music adventures in folk clubs back in 1989. I would have been 8. That's a little young to start clubbing. Yeah. But, you know, I started my adventures listening to my mom's banjo. So there we go. Yes. And Laura is here. Hello, Laura. Margaret mentioned Emma, and she appeared. That's how it should work, right? It's like the Flu Network or something. Let's see. I'm gonna move this. Let's scale this down so I can see my notes. Prompt number 5: Shipping Up to Boston by the Dropkick Murphys. And I think the Dropkick Murphys are sort of like the same as Flogging Molly in terms of loud pub music kind of atmosphere. Again, not really my thing, so I don't know. The prompt is a fiction or nonfiction book set in or around Boston, Massachusetts. Oh, and I have 2 good ones for this. Shoot. I should look this up and share this instead. So let's see, because I want you all to see this cover. Storygraph doesn't do well with misspelled names. Nope, nope, nope. There we go. All right, so the first one I did get. Ba-boom. Okay, so how many of you guys have read M.T. Anderson? Let me make sure I'm sharing. Yes. He's a YA writer, but they're tackling very thorny issues. And so I think it's very useful for adults to read those books as well. I recently read Nicked, which is about like a pirate adventure in an era I don't usually tinker in, which is like 1500 something, 1400s, crusade time, basically. And it had like a monk and a pirate and, sacking the holy city in Venice or something like that. Anyway, very different. But M.T. Anderson has a wonderful way of writing these characters who are very naive, and we take on their viewpoint so that we can see slowly the complex layers of reality and prejudice and injustice like layered in. So this is the first book of his that I read, just picked it up as a used book, didn't know anything about it. And The Astonishing Life of Octavian Nothing, Traitor to the Nation, is about a young Black boy who is raised in a very privileged household, but he's treated somewhere between a servant and a science experiment. And he has very eccentric keepers, like adult supervisors, let's say. And this is pre-revolutionary America. So we've got some interesting historical moments coming in. And the first book is called The Pox Party because it talks about early vaccines. Funnily enough, I bet this one is going to be a banned book, right? In case Elaine comes along and is curious about her banned book project. Like a lot of them are classics and sort of like, haven't you already read those? Why are they banned? But this one, I feel like actually dives into modern problems and like not as many people have it on their list. So it takes place in Boston. And then the other one I was going to highlight in Boston is a friend's book, and that would be boop boop. Can I share this one instead? No, I can't. I have to stop sharing and share this one. Okay. Bye. So this is, again, I would say young adult, but also very adult themes. Herrick's End by T.M. Blanchett. And this is a writer who lives around Boston, and it takes place in Boston and has very specific reference points to like the trail of history where they have plaques in the sidewalk, but it's like a portal fantasy to another world. And there's like themes of revenge, justice, and like power and, like not under subcultures and networks, and like really interesting. So fantasy, but also like very urban affected, I should say. So definitely recommend that one. And then I think we go back to the other one. Sent, share, window. Okay, so back here, just trying to track all the things. Yes, you can rewind and then listen to me at 2 times speed if you want from the top. I think I started about 7 minutes in. Powerful magic. Yeah, powerful magic. Just a queen of villainy myself, you might say. Yes. Yay, Nicole is here. I am the second person to do the Rock On Celtic Songs tag. Excellent. I'm guessing peeps are waiting for tomorrow to release their videos. Tomorrow is a Monday. Oh, but it's St. Patrick's Day. Meh. I don't know. I think that's like too much planning for folks. They might be waiting till Tuesday, actually, for Tag Tuesday. Who knows? And Jim has read Herrick's End, and he enjoyed it. That's wonderful. That's so cool. Yeah, Trisha came on my channel when it first came out, and I think there's 3 books that are out right now. So I think it's finished, but yeah, you could check it out. That's really good to hear. Nice. Okay. So 6 is The Bonnie Banks of Loch Lomond, a book that's centered around nature. And here's one I have hardcover for. So this is a song I do like, and there's a Corey's version. Of course, they have wonderful like 1970s music videos where they're just like walking through the Scottish countryside, which I can't get enough of. But in case you don't know, by on Bonnie Banks is how it starts out, and then the chorus is wait, no, is it the high road? Isn't that this one? Yeah. You take the high road and I'll take the low, and I'll be in Scotland live for For me and my true love will never meet again on the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond. So the first version I heard was very 1940s, very swingy from World War II. And the Corey's version is much more folk music-esque and slower. And like, it's actually a sad song. It's not supposed to be like swingy. So yeah, it's kind of interesting to see things evolve like that. But a book that's centered around nature. Hey, look at all that stuff. Look at all those turned down corners and tabs. We love it. The Uninhabitable Earth, Life After Warming by David Wallace Wells. And oh, yeah, it's a little dead pollinator. That's kind of a weird view with my face under a dead bee. Sorry. that was weird. So this is a Climathon book from last year. This is about what will happen on the Earth, how we are making it uninhabitable for so many species, including ourselves. And there was a lot of really interesting thought experiments and ironies. And this was originally like a long essay, and then they turned it into a book. Let's see. It's a gripping travelogue of our near future, food shortages, refugee emergencies, and other crises. It transforms politics, culture, relationship to technology, and our sense of history. Yeah. So, yeah, really good, really thought-provoking, great Climathon pick, and nonfiction. If you're looking for nonfiction, balance, and sort of like thoughtfully process things, highly recommend. Okay, Bean is not right next to me, so I can put the books down on the back of the couch there. I think Margaret's tagged me, Nicole, so I'll definitely be doing it. I did think about it, but couldn't answer every prompt, but I'll try again. Maybe some of my answers would jog your memory. And I already didn't answer one question because it did not apply. So, I think we're free to do that. Oh, man, we thought we couldn't like you more. Oh, boy. What is sleeping? I don't see another... Usually when you put an asterisk, it's to correct something you wrote before, but I don't see another comment that says anything. So maybe StreamYard messed up the chat. Sorry, Laura. Oh, the bee. The bee. Okay. The bee is sleeping. It's waiting for its true love to wake it up. There you go. All right. Okay, here's another one I was going to try to sing, but I don't know the song as well. So it's Twa Recruitin' Sergeants by Seamus Kennedy, a fiction or nonfiction book about war. Actually, let me see. I had it open. Oh, nope. That doesn't give the lyrics. Give me the lyrics. Give me the lyrics. Let's see if I can remember it. Folk Switch. That doesn't have lyrics. All these lyric sites have so many ads. Someone said that it was really hard to make it rhyme or make it like fit the lines because you had to have a Scottish accent. Let's see if I can remember. And now I'm thinking of different Come Away With Me, the song that I've been listening to. Let's see. Can we play it? All right. So I don't know if I'll get a copyright strike for that, but whatever. It's over the mountains and over the main, through Gibraltar to France and Spain. Get a feather to your bonnet and a kilt upon your knee, and list, bonny laddie, and come awa with me. So basically, in case you don't know, this is one of the songs that I do like because it's like my era. So with all the social changes that were happening and all the depopulation and the industrialization and the urbanization that was happening, people were kicked off their land and told to work in a factory or migrate. And You know what else they could do? They could be cannon fodder. So, sign up and fill your belly, get paid to be in the army. And so a lot of Irish folks did that in the 20th century, and a lot of Scottish folks did that in the 19th century because they had no other options. So, twa, to recruiting sergeants. It was soldiers who would set up in the street and lure young men in and tell them they would have a dashing life as a soldier if they would only sign their life away for the king's shilling. Lovely. Haven't times changed. The book about war that I chose. Oh, okay. This is another. Here we go. Graphic and share. So, Book and Dagger. This is one of my new release picks for Herkyed by Elise Graham. So I read this from Libro.fm last year. How scholars and librarians became the unlikely spies of World War II. Now, I'm not a big war reader. I am not a big World War II reader. So I was interested. I mean, the cover is pretty dang cool, but I was like, is it going to be good? It was really good. It's a really interesting look at several different pockets and sort of exploring the threads that tied together the American espionage effort of World War II. Basically, the fact that the Americans had nothing, they had disbanded everything from the First World War, and so they had to start from zero. And no one else thought that they would have any good contributions to the spying networks. And apparently Istanbul was like spy central. I guess you could kind of get that from no, that's Casablanca. Maybe one of the Indiana Jones movies is there. I don't know. Anyway, Istanbul was like so many people were spying on each other that it was common knowledge that like everyone who was international there was a spy. And I was like, what? That's crazy. So kind of neat. And then also like the universities where they trained and what they learned and the characters who were their first trainers and some of the missions they went on. The cool one that sticks in my memory is the I think it was Norway where they went because they were making heavy water. They shoot something into the water to make it a different atomic weight, and that's what they needed for developing some kind of atomic bomb or something like this. And there was one factory that the Germans had control of, and it was in Norway. So they had to infiltrate this like dam that they had all this water in and that they had a laboratory in and blow it up, and they did, and it was so like so tense. It was so good. So anyway, that was a neat story and book about war. This is how I prefer to hear about it, with stories of success and ingenuity and looking back to an America that we could be proud of. Yeah. Number 8, Molly Malone by the Dubliners. I do like the Dubliners. What is a book with a badass female main character? Okay, so this is sort of a weird one. It's a little obscure. I'm sure you'll all be shocked that I came up with an obscure recommendation. This is one I read recently. It's called The Slow Road North by Rosie Shop. And this is a new release. I found out about this through Audiophile Magazine, who I work for. How I Found Peace in an Improbable Country. And the reason why this called out to me was that it is a woman who stayed in a National Trust property in Northern Ireland and was sort of inspired to change her life, right? And I was like, yes, eat, pray, love, come back home again, right? Anyway, there's a lot more to it than that. There's a lot of grief in the book in terms of her partner dying and her parents dying and being a caretaker. And then like, she's a freelance writer and has a very sort of fluid life, but like all that grief sort of weighed the beginning of the narrative. And then she does this trip to sort of get out from under it and gets an opportunity and then sort of keeps coming back to it. It goes like, oh, this is really interesting. So then she starts just exploring the Northern Irish context and the sort of interesting place that they're in. And then just talks about her life. So it's a memoir, and she's pretty badass because I feel like all the stuff she's been through and the big changes she made, like well into her life experiment are inspiring. And I just thought that was really cool. So Rosie Shop and Northern Ireland backwater, like make it sound beautiful. Check. And then also I went into a whole rabbit hole of like all the National Trust and National Landmark. And there's like several different organizations that preserve historical landmarks and then rent them out to make money for their upkeep. So great model. I hope it's working well. I mean, it seems like a great model, and I hope there's no like seamy underside to that industry. But I thought this was really cool. Cat, we've got have a great one. Oh, don't forget your green tomorrow. I'm off to fake adult. Haha. Very fun. And Jocelyn says hi. Hello, Jocelyn, and welcome. We're on our first tag. We're on prompt number 9, the last one, an Irish pub song by the Rumjacks, which I've never heard of. What is a book that is misunderstood? And this one took a long time for me to find. I'm telling you. But then I saw a few people talk about this book in a non 5-star way. And I was like, what? I'm sorry, excuse me? And I realized that it's sort of a Vegemite book. Like a lot of people didn't like it. A lot of people really did. And I'm glad it's really successful because I really did. And a lot of people thought it was like boring or whatever. And I was like, what? So I think if people think it's boring, they misunderstood, because Babel by R.F. Kuang, look at that cover. It's a historical fantasy. And for me, what a historical fantasy does is make you feel like you're in a time and place that is actually rooted in history, but then gives it a twist, gives it a different lens. And that is exactly what Babel does. R.F. Kuang has used 1830s Oxford, city of towers or whatever it's called, spires, as a seat of learning and famed academic ivory tower, really, and use that as an emblem of the British Empire. So we've got several folks who are from the periphery of the British Empire brought together because they have special talents. And they're given this opportunity to use these talents for the good of furthering said British Empire. And there's a magic system, there's like a belief system, but it's essentially colonization at the point of the 1830s. And there's a revolt because they can't stomach this extraction, this exploitation anymore. So we get a lot of their backstories. We get the conversations and discoveries between peers who are from the periphery and from the center. And the intersectionality of these prejudices is highlighted in a very effective way, in a way that made me feel like, like you're so close, but like you're so far away. So I thought this was really beautifully done, and fight me about it. That's my take on that. Gara says, I want to read. I'm going to say Babel at some point because that's how the Brits say it. And Jim says Babel is a great read. Yeah. I think Jim's read another R.F. Kuang, maybe. I haven't read any others of hers yet. I want to read Yellowface. Oh, no, I have read The Poppy War. I think maybe The Poppy War is the one I'm thinking of. I didn't read the rest of the series, though. So it was a little bloody for me. It was a little high fantasy, a little bloody. But yeah. And with that, I'm going to tag Gareth, Albert, and Bree. So I hope you enjoy those prompts. They're really fun. So really good job to Nicole for making them up. And we're on to the 6-course dinner book tag, except I'm going to put this in here so I know. Oh, I don't know. Wait. Okay. So books, songs, and other magic. Albert the Conjugator, Bree Bonobo. Okay. So here is where I will know these are the folks that I'm tagging. So when I go back to put the timer things in. And let's see, I was going to pause and say it's Sunday. What do we have to look forward to? We have St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. I do not have a Wednesday wrap up this Wednesday because I did one last Wednesday and I only had 3 books. But, I am reading so many books right now, like little pieces at a time, that in a week and a half, that next Wednesday wrap up is going to be, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot. And the thing is, I'm traveling down to my parents' house. So I'm going to have to bring a lot of books with me. It's going to be fun. Okay. On to the next. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Jim has read The Poppy War, just the first one, like me, and he has Yellowface on Kindle. Okay. And Gareth says my daughter's got Yellowface for me to borrow. Uh-oh. I'm getting a little bit of the aura from an ocular migraine. I looked it up the other day because I had one and they said ocular migraine isn't what they're called. They're called aura migraines. And I was like, that's weird. Okay. Let's hope it doesn't get worse because I can't read when I can't see. We're on to 6-course dinner book tag, which is originally by Dylan_Morris, and I was tagged by Book Chat with Pat. So this is basically, I looked, she describes Dylan. Dylan's video says he's been in food service in a lot of different positions, and so he came up with this tag about all the different types of food in a meal, a very fancy meal. And I thought that was kind of fun. So we have 7 courses and an optional wine pairing. Now, I don't really drink wine. I think the sulfites might give me headaches. I've never enjoyed drinking wine. So I'm not going to do the wine pairing. I'm going to start with course 1, hors d'oeuvre, French for outside of work, typically a small savory dish served at the beginning of the meal, depending on the event served while guests are mingling. List some characters that you find to be especially charming or witty, and list some of your favorite finger foods. Okay, so I thought of charming or witty, and you look at me weird, but Sherlock Holmes in the Laurie R. King series. So Laurie R. King is a San Francisco-based writer, and she has some crime fiction, like police procedurals, and a Sherlock Holmes pastiche where Holmes has like a younger woman sidekick in like the 19 teens in his retirement. And I have read, I think, every book in this series, some of them twice. Justice Hall, The Moor, there's some really good ones. I forget what the fact is or the mystery, so I reread them and I'm like, oh, this is so good. But I think Holmes and Russell, as the 2 main protagonists, have a very charming relationship, a very witty, like the way the looks that they exchange are described, it just makes me feel like they really know each other well and care about each other, and they both seem really smart. And so I like that kind of protagonist where you have faith that they're not going to do something stupid. I don't like reading about those. So yeah, charming and witty. And also I said the Foxwife protagonist. So the Foxwife, I didn't look these graphics up, is sort of a folktale / mystery. So it's got a little bit of supernatural because of the folktale piece. But then it's also got like a modern on the trail of the mystery kind of feel, which I loved. And it's set in, I think, like early 20th century when some political changes are happening, and they're talking about northern China, and this person goes all over to try to find someone important to them. And I found the main character to be quite quirky and have like a different value system or like outlook, let's say, but also like very charming. So like kind of when you see someone from a different culture and you're like, wow, I don't get that joke, but like they're pulling it off so well. So the Foxwife is really good. Yangtze Chu is the author. and I need to read another of hers because I have Night Tiger and I haven't read it yet. Course number 2, and I am having a little trouble reading this, so let's see if I can glare at it hard enough. Soups, a usually warm dish served in a broth. What is your go-to cozy, comfy read? List some of our favorite soups and stews. I said, if I am going for comfort, I will sometimes go for history and design. So, like, this is what I'm reading now. I'm almost finished. William Morris Decor and Design by Elizabeth Wilhide. It's a design book because it's talking about Morris textiles and stuff. But it starts out with a bit about his life and how much he was a radical, especially towards the end of his life. So I love a restful illustration. But also mystery, because then I'm thinking about someone else's problem that is actually solvable instead of my own, which are often not. And romance, because when you read a romance, you know you get a happy ending. So those are definitely cozy and comfort reads. Course 3, I may have to just edit the stream because it's becoming really hard to read. Course 3, appetizers, a small dish or drink taken before the main course of a meal to stimulate one's appetite. List some of your favorite poems, short stories, and some of your go-to snacks. Ooh. This one I've got a graphic for. How did I not skip this one? Boop. See if I can get through just the rest of this tag. Speaking of romances, this was one of the, I think she uses it a lot as a freebie for her newsletter. This is one of my favorite romance authors, historical romance, Mimi Matthews. And the book is called Holiday by Gaslight. And as all of her books are, it is a romance that takes a woman in a difficult situation and with not a lot of options and pairs her with someone who is similarly nerdy in some way, and they help each other out once they discover that they're outside the mainstream in terms of their goals and aspirations. And this is a little later than her normal era, I think, because she's usually in like the 1850s or 60s, and so Gaslight indicates a little bit later. But yeah, this is another like Christmas setting, and it was short and just still well developed because she's very careful of people's feelings and like the timing so that it's believable instead of feeling like insta love. So yeah, really like that one. What else do we have? Salad, course 4. A cold dish of various mixtures of raw or cooked vegetables, usually seasoned with oil or vinegar. I'm going to stop reading these. Salad is favorite fictional regions, environments, and your favorite vegetables and how you like them prepared. So environments, what came to me, and this is going to change, I guess, depending on the mood, but was like the Fey lands. I've been reading a few fantasies, and what I really liked in 10,000 Stitches by Olivia Atwater was the House of Blackthorn. Let me take this down because we're not talking about it. So Olivia Atwater does cozy fantasy, and I read a half a soul first last year sometime, and for Herkian I read 10,000 Stitches because I got it from the library, and it's another delightful fantasy. So the House of Blackthorn is something in the Fey world where you go through a portal magically and you're in like a forested land, and it's not a house, even though that's how he talks about it, but it's someone from the Fey world whose worldview is such that the room is like a canopied clearing, and Blackthorn is sort of the heart of the wood. And I just really liked that sort of cozy, restful vibe. Felt like I needed it recently, so that was really nice and enjoyable. Yeah, Anita says Olivia Atwater does the best cozy fantasy. Yeah. And her romance or romantic elements are like tentative and sort of questioning and not over the top. And so I really like that as well. Gareth says William Morris is really important in the history of socialism. Yeah, even though he was a radical in his day. Yep. Tiffany's here. Hope your headache gets better, Margaret. I just went through that yesterday. Blech. Yeah. And just jumping into Kiss the Light while I get ready for the writer's room. Excellent. I will join you in the audience because I'm not going to be able to finish my third tag. Yeah, I get them so annoying. Yeah, because what it looks like is like there's this little electric worm right here. And when I looked it up, when I said there's no such thing as ocular migraines, they're called aura migraines now. They were like, it's a chemical passing over a part of your brain. And because so much of our brain is visual processing, that's why it affects it. And I'm like, a chemical. Oh, great. That sounds promising. So, yeah, I just got to like close my eyes and not do anything for a while, which is annoying. Okay, so let's see if I can finish out. Course 5, main course, blah, 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 blah. Favorite protagonist and all-time favorite food. So I would have to say favorite protagonist when I went down my list, Maisie Dobbs, easy. 17 book series or something. She's a historical mystery heroine from World War I to World War II, and fantastic, like depth of character and thinking process, as well as like smart and gets into the action. Alex Carter from Alice Henderson's like Cli-Fi series. She's a like field biologist, scientist, but also gets into these crazy scrapes, knows how to survive in the wilderness, knows how to treat the wilderness with respect, and knows how to like bring a world of hurt to the bad guys, which I respect. And then third would be Mrs. Plansky. Not a series, just a standalone, but this is Mrs. Plansky's Revenge. She's an older woman who is the victim of a scam, and she decides that she's not going to take it. So she gets into it, and she ends up flying to Eastern Europe and, you know, tracking down the person who scammed her and figuring out what to do about it, which I love. 6 is dessert. Some of your favorite happy endings and favorite dessert sweet treats. Oh, favorite foods I forgot. Chocolate, hazelnuts, Gouda, kale, granola, bread. Couldn't live without bread. But favorite desserts and happy endings. I would say I really liked Island Affair by Pris Oliveris for the happy ending. It's about two people from very different family backgrounds and how they sort of understand each other better by the end. And I thought it was beautifully done. Wooing the Witch Queen is going to make another appearance here by Stephanie Burgess. Happy endings, just lovely. And then ice cream, cheesecake, chocolate torte, chocolate chip cookie. Can't go wrong with the right chocolate chip cookie. I have 3 favorites in this town. Course number 7, family meal, blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's the tag one. Okay, so Grace at Books and Cooks, Kat at Ginger Bibliophile. So she's gone, but she's tagged in this one, so she'll have to come back and watch. And then I thought, ooh, I'll get to hear about Turkish food if I tag Berna. So haven't tagged Berna in a while, but Berna's Bookish Adventures. Hopefully the questions down in the description will lead you to talk about Turkish favorites, and I'll get to reminisce about some of my favorite foods from my time in Turkey. So yeah. So we're just going to do 2 of the 3, and I'll edit the title here because I can't read very well anymore. Yeah. Comforting Fae Lands, love it. Google Aura Migrants. I always call them ocular too. Yeah, it's just they've moved on. Favorite protagonist, Via Warshawski. Sarah Paretsky, yeah. And thanks for the no notification, YouTube. All right, well, we're going to abbreviate today, and I'm not going to put the other banner up with the names because, yeah. Thank you for joining. Don't forget to like the stream and subscribe if you like hearing crazy eclectic book reviews and snark about the state of the world. And I will catch up with that 3rd tag as soon as I have a little lie down with my eyes closed. All right. Thanks, everyone. And sorry we got to cut it short, but I will see you again soon. Bye.